Now, before I get into this video, many of you are going to think why I'm recording this. You may be thinking, oh, I want to do it because everyone else is doing it. Or, oh, I want to get that ad revenue in. Actually, it's none of those things or whatever else you may be thinking why I'm doing this video. It's because I believe what I'm talking about in this video actually has something to do with my own personal life. Also, I'm not even monetized still yet. And even if I was, this video, if it was monetized, I would have all that ad revenue donated to a charity for the sole purpose of this video, which I will mention later on. For now, sit back, relax, and hear me out in this video, because what happened last night was a pretty serious situation with not just me, but to everyone out there. As you know, I've been a wrestling fan for a long time. I haven't watched wrestling like recently because not only of personal stuff, but it hasn't really piqued my interest that much. I mean, I watched a little bit of highlights here and there and read the recaps on Bleacher Report. And I attended SmackDown Live, I guess, last year and watched WrestleMania 34 with one of my best friends, Sam. But other than that, I haven't really paid that much attention to wrestling. But whether you care about wrestling or not, or if you're a fan of it or not, last night was one of the most devastating nights I've ever encountered. Last night really struck a chord not just in me, but with a large majority of the wrestling fan base. Because once again, not just with WWE, but with professional wrestling as a whole, and with even sports in general, it just goes to show sometimes that whatever happens to you in real life, they can throw a curveball and they can get in the way of doing what you love. And this happened to one of the top wrestlers in the WWE. And whether you love him or you hate him, or you don't even care for him, or you don't even know who he is, but for what he has done for the WWE, then what I'm about to say is something you probably already know about, or maybe you don't know about it yet. It either still has a ripple effect in your hearts, or it will have a ripple effect in your hearts by the time you're done with this video. This man that I'm going to be talking about in this video is about Roman Reigns, also known as Joe Anoa'i. Last night on Monday Night Raw, WWE's flagship show, Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, opened the show. We all thought he was going to promote his upcoming match with Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar at the controversial Crown Jewel pay-per-view. Immediately, however, I felt something was different. Something wasn't right. The moment he came out, he was in street clothes, and he began his promo by apologizing to us. He also began speaking as Roman Reigns. He openly said that, and I immediately was confused because he broke character there, and there was clearly something deeper going on here. After that, he began referring to himself by his real name, Joe Anoa'i, or at least his first name, Joe. That's where the worst news goes from after that. He reveals he has leukemia, which is blood cancer. Blood cancer in the red blood cells. I don't know too much about leukemia, but all I can say is I dislike cancer. I've encountered it once in my life, but I will go into more detail of when that encounter was much later on in this video. As soon as I heard that news, though, on the way home, when I had to go to church for my volunteering group, for my volunteering group. When I saw it on Twitter, on Bleacher Report, and then when I eventually saw the highlight video on YouTube and the full video of it, and then when I saw it on other social media sites, I stopped. I clearly lost sight of everything right there. More on that later. Joe was diagnosed with leukemia when he was 22, as he stated. But he quickly put it into remission. He suspended it, in other words. However, he revealed last night that it has returned. So he kept it in secret from the public for 11 years, as he stated. So the fact that he fought it for up to this point, like secretly, that's balls right there. He has guts right there, and to keep doing what he is doing, in spite of the fact that cancer could come back to bite him. It shows that he's a fighter. He wants to keep fighting, and he wants to fight against cancer even when he's competing in the ring. But for now, he has to vacate the Universal Championship to get medical treatment for his illness. And he pointed out that he's not retiring. He'll be back once he Superman punches leukemia forever, hopefully. And then he ended things while everyone was chanting, "Thank you, Roman." He ended things by leaving the Universal Championship in the ring. And then when he was on stage, he hugged his Shield members, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I could tell that Seth was very emotional. Dean was emotional as well, but he tried holding back tears. And then they posed one last time with their fist bump pose. Well, one last time for now, on the stage. And they ended that very emotional segment. That was really a complete left field hit turn for the WWE Monday Night Raw and professional wrestling. We give many people in the WWE, like in the WWE fan base, in the internet wrestling community, they give Roman a lot of crap. But it was really disheartening to hear this. So many of these wrestlers, including Roman, go out there night in and night out and bust their ass to perform the best show that they can possibly perform. But outside of that, we don't know what's really going on in their personal lives. Sure, there may be people out there in social media saying, "Oh, I just met this wrestler. They're really nice," or "This wrestler is really mean. Why is he whatever? Why is he getting pushed, or why is he not buried yet?" All I can say about that is we don't know how that person really is in real life. It's like they don't get time to themselves. It's like we really do not know how these wrestlers are in real life until they actually tell us how they are. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, professional wrestling is an escape for us to be entertained, to be an escape for the pressures of our real lives. But sometimes real life situations can get in the way, and last night was just another instance of that with Roman Reigns. So I hope and pray that Joe Anoa'i can beat cancer once again for not just him, not just for his family, not just for Vince McMahon, not just for the entire WWE, not just for the fans, but for everyone out there. I really dislike cancer. I fucking hate it. Like I mentioned before, I really don't like cancer. Because the last time I dealt with cancer, I dealt it when my mom had it. I dealt it when I was still young. My mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. I mean, I didn't know which cancer it was at that time. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer when I was, like, I think 12 years old, when I just finished elementary school and was moving on to junior high school. I was clearly too young to understand what was going on, but I do remember that I went to the hospital with my family, because my mom had to get a lot of chemotherapies to either put her cancer into suspension or to completely eliminate her cancer. She did temporarily put her cancer into remission, but then it returned for good in January 2012, right after New Year's Eve. I remember I was sleeping and my mom was in a lot of pain. My dad had to take her to the hospital early in the morning. I don't know if I was on break or if I had to go to school that day, but it was just a really bad situation. And since then, she went in and out of the hospital, and I don't know what else to say. It was just a very hard situation because we didn't know what to expect from that point. She did briefly return from the hospital on Mother's Day, but then right after she went back, and that's unfortunately where she stayed for the rest of her life. 5 days, a month later, 5 days after her birthday, on June 17th, 2012, my mom passed away at age 51. At the time, I couldn't really grasp what was going on. I was juggling with so many things on my mind. What was going on with my mom, as well as how my dad was doing, as well as the other obligations that I had going on with high school, and I just finished it, and now I'm doing marching band for the coming year. At that time, there was just a lot of things going on. But as more time passed, it seriously had an effect on me. I had some sleepless nights where I thought that my mom was really gone. And while it is still hard, I don't really have too many words for it, but it's just been a challenge. It's still an everyday challenge for me and my family because I have to help my dad with a lot of things around the house. Well, I do have my older brother, but he also has school in but he's in a master's program, and then we pretty much have to help each other with the chores, the groceries. I have to sometimes help my dad. I have to pretty much learn how to do bills now. I also have to especially take care of my sister because she has autism, and it's not easy sometimes because one day she can be good and another day she can be not good, and it's really challenging to see my sister like that. And I want her to be a really good sister. But I know there are a lot of challenges that my family faces, but losing my mom to cancer was one of the hardest things that I had to deal with in my life. And that's why I don't make as many videos that I want to make to this day. I mean, yeah, I like making videos, but it's just like it doesn't feel complete because sometimes I have to help my family a lot, and especially when I have to sacrifice my video making. But anyway, this whole situation with Joe is horrible. Cancer is not a joke. Disease as a whole is not a joke. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we give Joe Anoa'i's character, that is Roman Reigns, a lot of shit. I mean, Roman Reigns' character has been promoted as one of the top wrestlers in the WWE since 2014, after the Shield broke up. Especially in the internet wrestling community, many people do not like Roman Reigns, the character. He has been given too many main event opportunities. These are all the claims that, which are many of them are true. He's been given too many world titles. He's been getting too many other title opportunities, too many main events at WrestleManias, and that's why they boo him. They claim that he has been rapidly and forcibly shoved into everyone's neck as the face of the WWE, probably even more so than John Cena and Hulk Hogan were. Some of those claims are pretty understandable because sometimes I don't always agree with how the WWE is marketing Roman Reigns, the character. But with Roman Reigns, the person, Joe Anoa'i, you have to respect with what he is doing. As I talked about earlier, he works his ass off every single night. You can tell he is a caring father, and he's a very nice guy outside of the ring. Screw what the other people say about him online. To keep doing what he's doing night in and night out, in spite of the cancer that he has been keeping quiet about for the past 11 years, until last night, he's a true fighter. I know he can fight it off. Hopefully this time, he does it for good, so he can go back to doing what he loves. It's like Roman said, or what Joe said. Life is not fair. You have to keep swinging for the fences, however, and keep fighting for your life as hard as you can. So once again, I pray for Joe Anoa'i, and I pray that he'll keep fighting, not just for himself, not just for his family, not just for Vince McMahon, not just for his friends, not for the WWE, not just for the WWE, but for everyone out there. Everyone out there, whether or not they may be suffering from a disease or from cancer, just keep fighting for everything that you stand for. I hope he puts his leukemia into permanent remission and he goes back to doing what he really loves. Wrestling for the WWE and living a long, healthy, and happy life. that was a very heavy and emotional segment last night on Raw. Whether you're a wrestling fan or not, I encourage every one of you to at least give it a watch. I'll leave a link in the description below and leave that little eye in the right corner of this video or wherever it is. As I said in the beginning, I wanted to give my own personal perspective of this unfortunate news about Joe Anoa'i. As I said, my mom dealt with cancer and unfortunately lost that battle. I'm still, my family, ourselves, are still trying to battle back from that unfortunate situation ever since. I don't usually openly talk about that, my mom's passing, to people, but I want to let every one of you know about that, because seeing this happen to Joe Anoa'i is really unfortunate. And as I mentioned before, I'm not monetizing this video, nor am I a monetized channel. And even if this was monetized, I would donate the ad revenue to a Leukemia Cancer Society. But overall, I really hope that Joe Anoa'i recovers, gets healthy, completely eliminates leukemia from his body, and goes back to doing what he loves. And again, that is wrestling for the WWE and living his life happily. But yeah, that's all for this video. I know it was very serious. It was a very unfortunate situation that happened to one of the wrestlers in WWE. It was very unfortunate that this happened to Roman Reigns. This happened to Joe. My thoughts and prayers are to him, and I hope each and every one of you send his thoughts and prayers to Joe Anoa'i. But that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links will be in the description as well. And I know I haven't made a video in 2 months, but I really want to address this because it was just very unfortunate that this had to happen. But anyway, everyone, always be delicious, and I'll see everyone next time.